If your autistic child is constantly excluded from play or group activities, they have to sit alone in the classroom, don't brush it off. This video will show you what you need to do. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a topic that many parents face with their autistic children. We're talking about why so many autistic children experience isolation in their early school years and how we can help them navigate this journey without losing themselves. By the end of this video, you will understand why so many autistic kids struggle to make friends in school and what isolation actually looks like for an autistic child in the classroom environment or in the playground environment or other environments. How early isolation affects a child's sense of self and identity, and what schools often miss when trying to help autistic kids fit in. How parents can support their autistic child socially without making them feel like they need to change who they are. And if you have noticed that your child is struggling to connect with others or withdrawing socially, this video is for you. Stick around as I break down the reasons why autistic children often feel isolated and what you can do to help them thrive. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will never miss an important update that could change your child's journey. Let's start off with my number one. Why do many autistic kids struggle to connect with others or to make friends in their early school years? Autistic children often find social rules like turn-taking, reading facial cues, and understanding sarcasms difficult. And these are the things that come naturally to other kids but are challenging for autistic kids. And this makes social interaction feel like such a challenge for them. They often want to connect with others but don't know how to start or maintain a conversation or interaction. Their interests might not match up with those of their peers, and they don't always know how to engage. Sensory overload and rigid routines can make things even more challenging, and it often causes them to withdraw rather than seek out social interaction. Repeated rejection, confusion, or fear can lead them to retreat further, even if they truly want to make friends. So, what does isolation look like for an autistic child in the classroom or in the playground? For example, you might see a child sitting alone while others play, or walking back and forth near a group but never quite joining in. Teachers might assign a buddy for group projects, but the interaction still feels forced. I remember one child who spent his entire recess watching others play ball from the corner of the playground fence. He would smile but never joined in, and even when encouraged. That is isolation. Now, how does early isolation affect how a child sees themselves and the person they will grow up to be? When children experience isolation, they might internalize messages like I don't belong or I'm not good enough. Over time, this leads to anxiety, depression, low self-worth, and even masking. And masking is exhausting and can result in burnout, anxiety, and distorted sense of identity. And this can even impact their future relationships and career choices. Now, what do schools often miss when trying to help autistic kids fit in? We can't deny the fact that schools play a very important role in figuring out how autistic kids fit in. But the reason they miss it is because schools often focus on conformity, getting kids to act like everyone else rather than teaching them to embrace their differences. They may try to make autistic children fit in, which only adds more stress and makes them feel more isolated. They often overlook sensory support, emotional safety, and true peer education. Not every school has sensory rooms or calm-down areas, and this lack of support can make kids feel lonelier and even more stressed. behavior goals shouldn't just focus on eye contact or sitting still. They should teach kids how to advocate for themselves, ask for help, regulate their emotions, and build meaningful connections with their peers. Now, how can parents support their child's social growth without making them feel like they need to change? First, parents should validate and appreciate the unique ways their children socialize. For example, if their child waves without making eye contact, that is perfectly fine. Don't force eye contact as the standard for social interaction. Parents can also help by finding interest-based groups like, there are clubs for Lego lovers or animal camps where their child can engage with other children who share the same interests. Teaching social scripts can also help, but these should only serve as cues to start socializing, not something that the child needs to remember forever. And lastly, parents should talk about neurodiversity proudly, teaching their children that their brain works differently, and that is something to be celebrated. Before we end this video, I want to talk about one small change that can make a huge impact in schools, and it's very simple. It is teaching neurodiversity early. When teachers educate kids about different ways people's brains work and encourage kindness and acceptance, it helps create a supportive environment. Peer mentoring programs and small groups activities can also be a game changer. These structured settings allowed autistic kids to practice social skills in a safe and quite supportive environment. And lastly, to the parents out there who are feeling overwhelmed, here are 3 things that I want you to know. First, it is not your fault. Second, your child is not broken. Third, their loneliness is real and it hurts, but it doesn't have to define them. Focus on helping your child find the right friends, not just any friends. And most importantly, help them embrace their uniqueness and be proud of it. Self-esteem is essential for development and happiness. And that is for today's video. My name is Ha, and I'm a behavior analyst, and I have walked this journey with many families. Drop any questions in the comments, and I'd love to hear your story. Also, if you want to connect with other parents of autistic kids and join a supportive community, click the link in the description to join my Parenting Autism community, and we will share experiences and resources to make parenting autistic kids easier and more fulfilling. Don't forget to check out my last video about the autism spectrum. It is full of actionable tips. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.